Alright, so this is the Shargeek STORM2 portable power bank. Pretty nice power bank in my opinion. It's got this sort of transparent case here. You can obviously see all the electronics on the inside. Really nice and clear IPS display here showing all the important information on the screen here that's going on in terms of input and output on power. This uses, looks like 8 of these 18650 lithium ion cells, and these are Samsung lithium ion cells, so high quality cells in here. You can see there's 8 of these, nice and transparent. This is where all the stuff happens on this one side. So you have a DC in and out port here. I'll explain a little bit of what this is in a second. I don't know what the size of this barrel plug is, so I'm not sure what devices you can use to charge this power bank with, or what you can power up other devices with this one. So this isn't explained very well in the manual either. The main way of charging up the power bank is via this USB-C, and it says power delivery up to 100 watts. And then you can, this is basically for USB-C in or out, and both of these are in and out. In out for both of these. For out only, you have a USB A port there and a USB-C port of both of these, and I believe that is also USB power delivery on the USB-C and quick charge 3.0 on the USB-A. There is a warning here that they should not insert any input devices when the DC output is switched on, which is referring to this plug here. So if you're using this as a DC out, then you shouldn't plug in any power, because obviously it's going to cause a reverse polarity situation or reverse power situation. It'll probably just turn off the thing, but I have no way of testing that because I don't have that barrel plug. And all of the specs and important numbers here are on the bottom of the power bank. So this thing about 25,600 milliamp hours, or about 93.5 watt hours. And so that is less than 100 watt hours for the device. So it is airplane safe, or there will be allowed to be put on airplanes if you're wondering about that. Various volts and amps for the different USB ports. The DC output port is adjustable, and you can actually do that via the screen. I'll show you that here in a moment. And of course the rest of the numbers for the different USB ports. USB-C output 2, obviously with it being power delivery, the voltage is going to vary from 5 volts. I think it looks like up to 16 volts. In terms of the other stuff you get in the box, you get this little carrying pouch to hold the power bank. Nice little USB-C to USB-C cable that's included. You also get a pretty nice manual, and has all of these diagrams in here. But I just want to point out what the screen should look like when all the things are lit up, and just show you things like the watts, the voltage in, the amps, and what USB port it's being powered on versus in and out. So basically the things you want to pay attention to are the watts in and out, and then also which ports are being used, DC in, DC out, etc., along with total capacity of the power bank, the volts and amps being pulled out of it, and as well as the temperature and the time on. Alright, so just long press this yellow button to turn it on, and you get this menu, and here is where you can change DC output settings for this port right here. And so you want to long press this to go into this menu, and that'll light up each of the different settings, so you can either increase that output voltage. So right now it's set to 12 volts, and obviously no amps because nothing's being pulled. There's nothing drawing power on it. So, but if you want to short press that, that'll bump that. Or actually, when it's flashing, if you want to long press it, it'll in this case it'll decrease by 1 volt. So long press that, goes down to 11 volts. Then short press will go to the next item. You can then increment plus or minus by 1/10 of a volt. And right now it's off, but if you want to turn it on, you hit the long press that, and it'll turn it on. But then when you do that, then that will send voltage out. So if you want to charge the power bank via the DC port, then you can't do that obviously when this is on. So that's one of the warnings. And then we'll just go to the X, and then long press to confirm, and then we get our main menu. So if you want to get into the menu, you just long press the power button, and then if you want to turn off the power station, you have to cycle through, short press each of these, and you go to that item there, that's power off, long press to power off the power bank, or you can go here and exit out of the menu. Let me just show you the other settings while we're here. So we have battery info, shows you the individual cell voltages as well as the total capacity, 91 watt hours, number of cycles, and the overall battery health, so 100%, since brand new should be 100%. You can change your temperature units here, that's what's displayed on the front. So if I want to switch this to, let's say, from Celsius to Fahrenheit, I'll long press that, and now we're switched over to Fahrenheit, and then actually exits out of the menu. So let me go back into the menu, and that's temperature units, and then the next one is timer. Next one here is display sleep. So if you want this little IPS display to turn off after a while, you can change that. I think it's defaulted to off, and I changed mine to 5 minutes. Turn off the power bank, go highlight that, and then long press. But we're going to go ahead and exit out of the menu. And this is what the display looks like. It's it's small, but it's very easy to read. And let's go ahead and I'll plug in something here. So let's, we're at 78% state of charge, about 15.9 volts. And the display is, the only thing is using power. It's using 0.034 amps. Shows your temperature and then the power on time right there. So there's a couple of USB-C power adapters here. So this one's an Anker 737. This is a 120 watt power adapter, and this Unitech is a 66 watt power adapter. I just want to show you when I plug in each of these the difference in the amount of power that you're going to get. So it does not come with these are not included, but you do need to get one of these if you want to charge up the power bank. So I'll link these in the description if you're interested in checking those out. I'm going to plug in the Unitech first, and I'm going to plug that into the input here. And as soon as that's plugged in, we get our indication there that is meaning that the USB-C 1 is active, and we have an input power of about 60 watts, and the voltage is very tiny to read there, but it's about 19.6 volts and about 3 amps, so about 60 watts on the Unitech. So let's go ahead and unplug that. And then we'll plug in the Anker, which is 120 watts, but I think this is a 100 watt max input on that port. But since we're at a pretty large state of charge, about 78 and 79%, we're probably not going to get the full 100 watts. It's typically these power banks will reduce the amount of power in to keep the battery healthy. So it looks like about 87 watts, see, about 18.6 volts and 4.68 amps. And just a quick example here, we got a something plugged into the USB-A. It's a little 5 volt device, and drawing about 3.94 watts approximately on the USB-A port. And the last thing I want to mention regarding the specs is the dimensions: 151 by 59 by 46 millimeters, and it weighs about 579 grams. So obviously it's very light and portable. I mean, you can definitely carry this onto a plane, put this into your laptop bag, and charge up a lot of extra devices. So overall, very useful power bank. Now, they also sent me this solar panel, portable solar panel. It is rated to 12 watts, and it folds up here like so. Has a bunch of these individual panels here. I think there's 12 total, so I think they're each about 1 watt. And it just folds up like this, and this is actually meant to hold their other power bank, the Storm2 Slim, which is slightly smaller version of the Storm2, and it just goes in here. Now, I was not able to find the link for this on Amazon. So this might be a discontinued product. So we'll add that later if I can find it, but if you're wondering where's that link, it's not going to be down in the video description, at least at the launch of the video. That being said, even when I was testing this out, I didn't really get a very good performance out of this panel anyway, so that's probably why I think they're discontinuing it. You need like the sun in the very best position possible to get that 12 watts, and That's not a lot of power to charge up this power bank. This is what, 91 watt hours. So at 12 watts, that will take probably, I don't know, 7-8 hours at full sunshine, which you're not going to get in a full day anyway. So a couple days to probably charge something like this on the solar panels. Anyway, overall, very nice product, pretty cool design. I like the transparent look, and you see the batteries and everything inside. Very nice display and controller here. It's going to be very useful. It doesn't have any inverter, so no AC output, only DC only. But for your USB devices, this is going to be really nice. It's nice and portable and functions really well. That's going to do for this video. Link down in the video description if you want to check it out. Talk to you guys in the next one.